welcome here. If you are new, I'm Zoe, and this is Divinity Within Thee, where we take time to get in touch with the divine. Okay, you guys. So, if you're new here, I'm a psychic, intuitive, medium, channeler. I work with all different types of spirits and energies, ancient deities, gods, past life, ancestors, archangels. So, yeah, I kind of work with everybody, and that's what's cool. Um, so, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Don't attempt to make a story that's not your story become your story. If you are here, hopefully you understand what your intuition is and how your intuition works, and you know how to tune into that and feel what is and isn't for you. Okay. So, dear universe, source creators, spirit guides, angels, ancestors, archangels, aliens, ascended masters, galactic federation of light, all beings of highest love and light vibrational frequency that are here to bring clarity and guidance and share truth and information with the collective, about the collective. We welcome you here with only the highest vibrational frequencies and timelines for all of those involved. We thank you for your guidance, for your clarity, and for your presence. Energy is fluid, guys. Energy just keeps moving. So whatever point in time somebody gets here, that's their energy can be here far before when they are. When our human brain understands is when time happens. And this is where you get things like deja vu and other things that pop up. Right? Because time isn't as linear as we'd like to think. So different things pop up at different times. X. Sounds a little crooked. Must be a thing. We got jokes. So guys, I was having an interesting little meditation session, and a lot was coming to me, and what was really interesting is they keep telling me, like, you will reap what you sow. Okay, so what that means is, again, what your intention or your energy is that you put out is what is going to come back towards you, for you. That is what essentially, okay, yeah, you can hear me. That's what essentially like karma is, okay? Let's just put it that way, right? Karma is essentially like an energetic balance that once it goes a certain, right, once you do something, not everything is going to have as big of an impact or small of an impact. Some things are going to be more instantaneous. Some things are going to be later on. Some things can be later on in our lifetime. Some things can be later on in our ancestral line. What we're experiencing right now is like a lot of people that chose to be here to kind of finish off the karma or the trauma and this balance with their ancestral lineage, right? And some of that lineage goes back farther than this planet. And I think a lot of people are just kind of waking up to that. They're seeing, like, they're beginning to see more clearly, right? They're beginning to see what is true and what is false. They're beginning to see what is more parasitic, right? And what is more loving, right? Things are just gonna start to come out, you know. I posted about this I posted about this in my Instagram story today, and not to get intense, but like we have to get intense. We have to talk about things, right? They were talking about how Deepak Chopra was in the Epstein's list, right? And how this is a prime example of how spirituality can be glamorized, right? So if this person is doing all of these things and giving back all of these things, are they doing it because it's coming out of the kindness of their heart, or are they doing it because it's a tax write-off? You know, I had some people here yesterday that popped on, you know, being like weirdo Jesus freaks and like whatever. Jesus is an ascended master. That's the homie. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is he's not trying to lord over people. Number one, and number two, the idea, the whole idea of what he was omitting, right? The whole idea of the Christ consciousness is that he didn't judge anybody. He was just like, you want to learn how to feed yourself and all your family? Come here. I will teach you this thing that I learned. I'm an ascended master. I know all kinds of things. I can teach you some interesting information. He taught people how to fish. He taught people how to do different things, right? And because of that, he was seen as this, because you got to remember, back in the day, things weren't accessible on internet, right? Things weren't like that easy, okay? Even people that come, okay, so like people that were born in like the Indigos and stuff like that, right? Everybody that's like, I think, is it 86 or 84? Like prior, I think between like 69 and 86 or some shit like this, something like this, right? These Indigos and these Gen X, right? We were kind of like the last generation. For instance, if we know things, right, it's not because we had Chat GPT or something like searching it for us, right? When I was still using Dewey Decimal System in high school, right? Until I graduated. You know, like, so the difference is, in order for people before to get knowledge, the way that it was obtained was only through those that were allowed to have more knowledge, right? The more highly educated, or the royal, or whatever, the more advanced, or the people that were seeking it. And that's why you see a lot of things, like, for instance, in if you're going to talk about mystery schools or any things that are a higher level initiation, things like this, right? The seeker, right? You have to be like, it's not that you can't just pay for that. You can't pay for that. It takes putting in the time and effort, right? And the thing is people can sit here and talk and be like, Jesus, as Jesus say, you know, it's like what Jesus did is he went around and shared his wealth and his knowledge. And he didn't judge people, you know? And that's exactly like, you know, when I think about people's intention, right? Is your intention to bring people to Jesus by judging and hurting other people? Because I don't really think that that's like, I don't really feel like that's WWJD. You know what I'm saying? That's more like WTF, right? Like, how do we become better as a collective, right? Like, how do we become more united, right? UNITY, bro, unity. Community, so like co-creation, right? So we create unity by coming together, okay? It's not like, just look at how the words are broken down. It's very simple, okay? So in this space of co-creation, like separation, the only thing that's creating the separation, and this is what they were channeling through me yesterday, was essentially like this hecate energy where she was deciding, right? Deciding, it was like the fork in the road, the crossroads, and it's like deciding what continues and what doesn't continue, and that's it. It's like, no, like this is parasitic, it's low frequency, they can stay there in a lower realm, right? And the higher vibrational frequencies and light and people with good intentions, there is no separation, right? Yes, we're having our own experience, right? I'm a soul having a human experience, right? That's what people, this is a saying people say, right? Spiritual being or soul having a human experience. Like, yeah, this is just our spaceship right now. This meat suit. This is just our, this is a, and this is temporary. Even this is temporary. Even this is borrowed. Our time, our meat sack, like, it's temporary, right? They have an expiration date, but soul and energy never dies. It goes on forever, ever. Forever, ever, ever. For sure. So it can choose if it wants to. Well, here's the thing. It can't really, okay, it's already chosen. So I've talked about this before, right? When people are asking about how it works, like how the afterlife and things like this work. So they explain Earth is like Earth school, right? It's like community college. Like you signed up for a certain amount of whatever, and like you're here and you're learning whatever until you've done the courses, and then once you got the credits, then you can like advance to the next boom. You know what? So if people are advancing, or if people are in higher spiritual advancements, higher levels of knowledge, higher spiritual ranking, there's a reason for that. Because they put in their time or their energy of their work, right? They've studied, they've hierophanted, right? They've done that energy. And so basically that's what's going on right now. And what they're showing me is like, this is the thing, is like you can't be like, imagine if it's a big spiritual warfare, right? If you're, let's say you want to battle with like the underworld forces, or with the archangel forces. Because right now what they showed me before is like they're all on the same team, which is my team behind me, right? Like that's what they showed me, all these different realms. So what that tells me is that there's something else. There's another something else, another agenda, something else that they're here on behalf of to help us get through, right? So I think the most important thing is not to focus on what somebody's race, religion, location, language, like sexual preference, whatever, like these things matter very little. It's again, you're going back to this state of judging. When you begin to judge, it like only if you believe in most religious texts, it says only God can judge. So that means two things, and I spoke about this yesterday, two things. Either you're trying to play God by judging, by being judgmental, right? Because if you're not looking at what you're judging in other people and figuring out where that exists within yourself so you can repair it and fixing it, then you're being judgmental, right? So either you think you can play God, number one, or you're admitting that you are in the same image and the likeness of the God or the goddess, and you have the capacity to judge. So either you're saying you're connected to the all that it, or you're not. But either way, it's the same thing. Either way, you're connected to it. So when you're seeing things go on exteriorly, it's like this. Are you letting bad things run? When you see somebody abusing or being hurt or being injured or being molested or whatever, like, are you standing up, or are you turning the other way? And this is where the scales or the ultimate judgment are coming into play. It's not coming into play based on you go to the pearly gates and it's like, well, you did this and you did it. What did you do? They were very specific about this morning, and they're like going off, and I thought it was just like me being responsive, but like, no, it was them going off. And they were just like, because I was like, am I a bad person? Because I don't want people to think I don't like Jesus. Like, Jesus is okay, but Jesus was a man. He's an ascended master. And what he was teaching is that we've already come here, right? We're reincarnating. We've already died for our sins. Like, we meet our karma. That's what we came here to do. So for instance, if you do a lot of bad things, then you're still going to have karma. So you may see some people where it seems like they may have an easier life, or it's easier. So either it means they've already paid off most of their karma. They worked through all of that karma. Or they're evading it, which means they're going to have more built up when they return again and return again. For me, I've worked my ass off to clear the karma. So I know this is my last incarnation, right? I'm out here doing all of my things, but like that's why I'm like my time here, I understand, has been a long time, but it's a limited edition. Often imitated, but never duplicated, baby. So the point is, you guys, is you really have to tap in. If you're here, hopefully you understand how to tap into your intuition, and hopefully you know when you're hearing things, when you're getting things, when you're receiving things, or you're hearing other people say, you know in your heart what is your truth. And if in your heart what is your truth is Egyptian mythology or Jesus or whatever, then that is your truth, okay? That is your truth. I'm not here to sell you on any other truth, but don't come here preaching to me. Like, I can be really honest with you. Like, I'm not seeing like a bunch of like religious people out here preaching like how to help move through all of these energies to understand what's going on. Are you seeing people on here preaching and saying, praying and doing all of this? Because I'm out here offering people prompts and ways to help people. Like, that's what I'm here doing. And that's like, that was the biggest thing, is they were showing me that this Christ consciousness, this Christ energy exists in our intention towards how we do everything, right? And people that have something to say like, what have you ever done? What have you ever given and donated? They wanted me, they were very mad about this. What have you ever given up or donated or given away, right? That wasn't, and they were specific about this, that wasn't old food or something you didn't want or something you didn't like or something you were regifting or your old stuff, or you weren't using it as a tax write-off, where you weren't just using it as a way to get rid of some of your stuff to make your life easier or your closet cleaner. Like, when did you actually go out of your way to put in time, effort, and energy just for the greater good, without someone showing up at your door and asking for a donation or someone saying, please help? When did you do it on your own? That, my friends, the initiative to just be a good fucking human, that is the Christ consciousness, okay? That is the Christ consciousness. And the Christos is the oil or fluid that runs up your spine that has 33 vertebrae before it gets up here. So, learn, you guys, some knowledge before you come into the classroom, because this is the divine comedy here, okay? We laughing, they laughing, the ancestors laughing at the ignorant, at how much people can be sold a bill of goods. You know, you just said that that's what it is and that's how it's going to be. But the reality is, that's history, right? His story repeats itself. That means they're stuck in a loop, in a karmic loop. And that's why I know the goddess source creation is female, because her story would be that of a creation anew. A new K-N-E-W era. Okay? So, the energy here is what you sow, what you reap, is what you sow. So if your intention, if you're putting out evil energy or spells or evil, you're jealous of somebody or you're doing any of this, right? That is going to come right back. It's like this very strong boomerang energy. They made me pull down this, that's the picture that you guys see. They made me pull down this evil eye, okay? I turned it around to face you guys today. But this is a thing, right? Because it's like right back at you, right? What I see. Also, what they showed me is when we close these two eyes, we can see with this one, right? And right now, this may be a little bit, this is what they try to block, right? This is what This is literally what they tried to block with me. And that's the thing, right? So now I still feel all the spirits and all this stuff. They try to do some type of hypnosis, but hopefully I'll unlock eventually. And I'll be able to see more of the spirits, not just in like dream or meditation state. But yeah, I do remember that being one of my prominent memories. Somebody was asking about this last night before the Jesus Freaks got on board, so they want me to share it. When I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I would always see these ghosts or spirits. I would always see them, but it wasn't until this one specific lady, and she was like this older lady, and she was like, the era was so much older, you know, like very old. And I was like, what the fuck, right? The place that I grew up was like on this little like vortexual, like energetic portal. And my grandfather picked that space specifically because it was special. I wouldn't doubt it, because whoever built it, I'm sure, was some type of mason or something like this, right? The land, whatever, there's a vortexual energy. And so I used to see this lady, but she would come in and she was super upset, okay? And she would really get like, you know, and so she would creep me out. This one would creep me out. Like the rest, I would just be like, watch them. And it's like, they would notice me, but then they would just like keep doing whatever they were doing and would kind of just like phase in and out, right? Like you could see the spirit, and like you could see, like you could tell it, like I could tell it was different eras by the clothing, right? I was very into the fashion, so I'm sure another lifetime I was like a crazy designer or tailor or something. A tailor probably for sure. But anyways, the point is what was my point? What was the point, you guys? They wanted me to share this for what? Oh, like my experience. And so what they show me, what I would see is these different spirits, but this one lady, she was super like disgruntled, right? And so I would go down and I would basically be like, I would go down and I would tell my mother or my grandmother, whoever, and I would be like, this lady is freaking me out. She's freaking me out. She won't go away. Like sometimes I could just like get them to go away, like imagine them like to go away and be like, I don't see you anymore. Like you don't exist here today. I just kind of like pull the covers up and be able to go to sleep. But this one, no, she would like harass me. And so I remember I would run downstairs to tell my mother, and she would tell me, finally, they told me at some point, they're like, well, ask her what she wants. And I was like, what? What do you mean ask her what she wants? And they're like, well, ask her what she wants, you know, maybe she'll tell you what she wants. And I was like, I know that, like, I don't care what she wants. What I want is her to leave me alone. Like, I'm trying to sleep. Like, she only comes here when I'm trying to sleep, and she's just harassing me, and she's nasty. Like, the energy was, like, intense. And I was like, I don't like it. You know, I don't know. Like, this one is disgruntled. I'm not trying to put up with it. And so I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm not sure if after that, I mean, what they tell me is kind of, they try to take me to like doctor, psychiatrist. They're already doing that. They weren't sure if it was from like my parents getting divorced or whatever it was. But I think they try to do something. They try to do a cleanse. They try to baptize me. They try to do all this crazy shit. And I think at some point they must have tried to do some spell work. They must have done something that took the me seeing the ghosts away. Maybe because I was just too creepy for people or something. I don't know. But yeah, I just remember that being a thing, and I just remember not for long after that, I mean not much longer after that, was I seeing the actual spirits anymore. So, but I always felt them, right? Always felt them. And so that was intense, right? And so like this is a thing, like people don't get it, right? When I go out and I go around people, it can be so intense because I feel everything, right? I feel their spirit guides. I feel what they're, as they're saying something, like what their inner dialogue is, the things that's like running through their mind, like how they're feeling. If they have something that's off in their body or pain in their, like, I feel it. I feel it. Like the chaos, the pain, the stress, whatever. I feel it, right? And that's why, I think that's why a lot of times I like to go to spaces where people dance, because they get into a meditative state. The music is loud, it kind of like drowns out some of the extra energy, but like for people to understand, like in order for me to step out of the intensity of that energy and step around the intensity of being able to feel and experience what everybody else is feeling at the same time, yeah, I think like things that calm you down or that disassociate you a little bit, like that's why. That's why. So, you know, that's why I think that I spend most of my time by myself. That's the way, right? Like I can't, I don't know it. I don't know if I could do, I don't know if I could do all this fucking crazy sobriety around a bunch of people. And just to clear it up for anybody, like, no, I haven't gone to any type. In the last 12 months, I went to Thailand to see my neurologist. After that, I had like this crazy diagnostics. I went to Wonder Fruit, okay, which is a festival in Thailand. After that, on Christmas, I went to America. I did an intense RSO treatment over there for the cavernoma, for the neurological condition, okay? I have zero personality disorders. I have ADHD, a little bit of OCD, but I don't have any paranoia, no bipolar, no schizophrenia, none of that. That's not a thing, okay? I had all of the tests run last year. Went to America. I saw maybe less than 10 people, maybe 5 that actually made effort to take a day off to see me. I only partied like once or twice with some of the homies, old school homies in the Bay. The rest of the time I didn't do anything. And then I came back here, spent months trying to clean spell work, and then had to clean everything and everybody out of my space. And yeah, I've been healing from the trauma that was America. Oh my God, I don't know how you guys do it. The insanity. So the only thing I've been in rehabilitation for, you know, like I've never been a junkie or an addict. I never had an addiction. I never had anything that I couldn't just stop at any day or time, that I couldn't just ever put down or completely walk away from. But the only thing I'm rehabilitating from is 40 years of narcissistic abuse on mental, emotional, verbal, physical, emotional, like on every level of every plane. So just for anybody that's wondering, and this year I've been, I think three places really in Bali. The first was the first is I go to Potato Head sometimes. My friend used to do sound healing sessions, which now I have these sound healing bowls that are here. So I have them. I did the sound healing. The second, I went to the Drum and Bass Festival, okay, in the end of June. Then I had this other whatever, Leaf, GTFO, and at some point in time, we did go to one benefit. My friends, Club Conscious, did a benefit at Potato Head because their sound thing there is all in this wood. This place is called Climax. It's literally got the most amazing sound system. If you ever come to Bali, you have to go there and check it out. Yeah, I went there for a benefit. Otherwise, like, I take myself sometimes to the beach or sometimes on drives. Otherwise, I've been nowhere else. So to anybody, there's people that keep saying, "Good to see you, welcome out," whatever this is, like, the only place I have been is in my home by myself. Well, with my cat. So, just to clarify, like, I know there's crazy doppelgangers and shit, and pretend people and stuff, because I saw that with the ex or whatever, right? Like, I saw that fake versions, so I don't know, but for sure, to all the people who said, "Welcome back, welcome out," that they've seen me or whatever like this, like, no. I haven't been out anywhere and nobody has seen me. Nobody has talked to me or called me. I know I know who my people are. That's it. So just to clarify that to any of you people, like, yeah. No, I'm serious about my healing journey and knowing how to heal myself. And when any people think, so here's the thing, birds of a feather flock together, right? So when other people are doing other things, are partaking or whatever they're doing, it gives people the automatic assumption that you must be doing that because you don't look well, instead of people realizing that actually, like, potentially, like, maybe you're regulating your nervous system. Maybe people are dysregulating you. Maybe people are feeding you something that's going to kill you, something you're allergic to. Maybe they're poisoning you. Maybe they're doing all of these crazy fucking things and giving you things to make you go into a state of psychosis, like, because they're trying to off you and collect you, because that's what they've done to however many other people before you. They just didn't realize that you were fucking, they didn't believe in your psychic abilities and didn't actually realize whatever. Okay? So the reason why I'm posted here, and the reason why maybe you guys have or haven't seen me, is because you don't tune in here, first of all. Second of all, because you didn't ask me. You want to know something, you can ask me. Drop a comment, drop a question. I'll tell the truth. I'll be dropping truth bombs. But yeah, you can call me on the cell phone. I'll be letting you know. And the best part about being honest and authentic is I say that shit right to your face. The same thing I say behind your back, and that's how it should be. That's how you know that somebody is an authentic human. That they're not saying one thing to you and another thing to everybody else. That's shady. So, and that's what's happening. That's what the spirits are showing me, is that everything is kind of like, they keep showing me like this boomerang, like the boomerang, and like the eye, the all-seeing eye. So it's like sending it back. It's like deflecting or reflecting. So whatever you put out, it's like, if you throw a tomato at somebody, like, that's just gonna burn your eye. You're gonna go blind. It's real. That's real. For some, there was an interesting message that was talking about the reason why you can't see, or you may have a some type of vision problem or eye problem, something like this. The reason why you can't see is because you haven't made the choice internally to see divinity for what it is. So if you're still choosing to, for any of you guys that are having eye issues, okay, if you're still choosing to see things from a skewed, old perspective, old era, old whatever, then what's going to happen is it's like the veil is going to go back. You're going to go into more disillusionment. You're going to go into more fog, okay? That's like how they were showing me, is like, if you want to be, it's your choice. Like, you want to be awake, then you have to seek more, right? The eye is looking, it's learning, it's reading, it's observing, right? It's observing, it's becoming the observer. It's seeing everything that's going on around you and seeing where the pattern recognition is and what needs to change and how we can do that and what we can do. So what I do What I do? What you doing? What you doing? And I saw this card blew down there. I found it. Oh, where is it? It blew away again. It said believe. What happened to it? Weird. Maybe it blew away again. The point of the situation is, first of all, don't judge, number one. Number two, don't take things personally, right? Don't make assumptions. Okay, making assumptions is making an ass out of you and me. That is to assume. A-S-S-U-M-E. Literally. All puns intended, you guys. So, and that's the difference. I'm not making assumptions out of anger or jealousy. I am a seer. Okay? I have been given this really awesome gift because what I choose to do in life, and people can talk all the shit that they want. Look at that. The believe it came back. But you better believe. And some people that were online last night, they're gonna be believers. They're gonna be believers. They're gonna be like Zoe. Yes, Queen. We're here to listen. Believe. Strange encounters. For many, they might have had some strange encounters. You might believe in magic now. Do you believe in magic? What is this? 31? 4. So we got some believers. We may have made some believers after all. How about that? That's what I love to do. I love to make me some believers. So you need to believe that things are existing in higher realms, you know, like that is and that's what they're showing me is like the energy returning, like Lemuria and Atlantis and all of this is it's like one thought that they could be more egotistical, like it like a cock show, you know, it was completely ego. It was one being like, I'm better and no, la 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 la. But in the end of the day, you're fighting. Which law or rule or regulation is better or valid or whatever. And the thing is none exist within one. Okay? And that's why they like me. Because none exists within one, but all exist. So there is so many people that channel that are like psychic, intuitive, like mediums, trans channels. They have a specific group or collective or guides or whatever that are channeling through. For me, I can channel through all of the realms and all of the dimensions and all of the intergalactic races, intergalactic, planetary, intergalactic. Some of you guys may be and have been that you have been putting in the work and being that good, in that Christ-like nature, right? Who in the world are you? Getting to know the new you. Yeah, it's like birthing. Look at that pomegranate, okay? For you guys that are actually doing the work, look at the 1 and the 9, okay? So it's like something that we started is coming to completion, or we're completing something and we're about to start this new thing, birthing this new thing, okay? This new thing that you may have had running for quite some time is probably getting ready to birth. For some, it can be finally maybe come into some type of funding or backing, something like this. Whatever it is, no need to fear. Remember how powerful you are. And this is 18, the energy of 9. Okay? So just keep believing. Oh my God. The bird that I saw yesterday was like in between these two birds. Oh my God, that's so weird. So weird. Sorry. You didn't see the reading from yesterday. Check it out. I was talking about this bird. So believe, right? No need to fear. Remember how powerful you are. Okay? It comes in this energy, and also something, you know, to believe is beautiful, but if we break down the word, okay, to be and to leave, that means to kind of leave your being in a state that's connected to that idea or conception, right? So I like to know, right? I like to know. I like to trust or to know, like, instead of being like, I believe in love, it's like, no, I know love exists. I speak love. I know love exists. I speak love. I feel love, right? From your heart space, right? I create love, right? From your solar plexus. What is it? I feel, and then I am is your root. That's your root chakra. So I am love. Believe is, you're still imagining that it's wishful thinking. It's good. What are your beliefs and your belief systems? You know? And if you don't know that something is there, then like, yeah, you can believe in love until you've experienced it. But when you know, without a shadow of a doubt within your own being, like what you're supposed to do, what is meant, what is, then, you know, when you can really just trust your intuition and tap into that, that's like the ultimate. That's the ultimate. So set your course. Look at this, 22. Know where you wish to go, have a plan, the right direction. And that's what this new energy is, this new moon, this retrograde energy, all of this with all these planets moving through Scorpio. It's the death and the rebirth. I was shuffling these cards, and actually there was 3 different decks where death came up. Okay, so on the crows deck, and then what was the other one on this one? I saw them, they came right up. This one on the Rider-Waite, and then the other one was on, okay, so it's really about this death and rebirth. Okay, for many of you guys, you're rebirthing. It's the death of an old era, old ideas, mainly an old era, right? And that can be an old era for you, an old era for the collective conscious. This is like a total purging. This is like a total thing with the collective conscious of being out and being honest and being aware, right? Sun, being in our happiness, being in our joy, and not being afraid to be in our happiness, our joy. And like, that's the thing, right? Like, I don't owe anybody an explanation, but I just want to let people know, like, if someone else is out there, because people keep talking to me as if I've been going places and doing something, like, if there's people out there pretending to be me anywhere else other than this channel, like, I don't even share stuff that I share this channel on my Instagram. So if you literally see me anywhere else, drop me a note or send me an email, because I don't have, I have my personal, YouTube, but yeah, I don't do anything else anywhere else. Okay, people were saying some weird stuff about some things, like, no, I don't have a Twitter, I don't have a TikTok, I don't have any fucking OnlyFans or any of this other weird stuff. Like, no, I do not. No. I was thinking about setting up an interesting dating profile to be able to kind of like interview people. Like, I want to bring people on. Like, I want to like find people that are good to talk to and like bring them on, right? Like live and direct. But no, I don't sell or solicit any services. I mean, I do energy work and energy sessions and card readings and different things that I do with people. I help people do lots of different stuff, but I never reach out. I never offer anything, and that's only when people email me directly do they receive a response. And I think I know like the 3 to 5 people that I know that are clients, and then maybe somebody else that's like an event organizer. Other than that, like, I'm not receiving any emails, just so you guys know. So if you are sending and you're receiving back, then please also let me know in a comment because I did have somebody saying that last week or the week before. That they were trying to schedule a reading or a message, and that I was responding, but I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was going on. So anyways, what I do know is that there's a lot of people trying to block a lot of things, and that's okay. You know, they can break my tablet. They don't want me to sing. They don't want me to share all these beautiful songs that I wrote. Like, that's not going to be forever. That's going to be resolved, right? That's not a bad fix, right? Like, everything just requires, in this realm or whatever, some extra funding. So if you guys like what I'm doing and you want to support me, my Gifts and Go is in the information box below. Okay, after I shuffled, it came back again in the reverse. Follow the white rabbit. Curiosity meets opportunity. Okay, so for you guys, there will be an opportunity, but it's not something that you're going to have to chase. Okay, the opportunity will actually present itself to you. Again, what you put out, the work that you've done, is going to come back. So someone is going to reach out to you. Okay, this isn't a people pleasing, like, I hope that you guys are all recovering if you dealt with crazy relationships, with any type of narcissistic abuse, or any type of different abuse, or any type of anything, you know, like, everybody thought, like, Tesla was crazy, you know, like, because he was super OCD, right? Like, had to do things on repeat. They're like, well, maybe he was autistic. Like, no, his mind was just ticking on another fucking frequency. People thought Einstein was on some shit that, like, most of them were just ahead of their age or tapping into higher information. And what happens is, the way the human brain works is when people don't understand something, it creates this fear response. And so from this fear response, people react. Okay? People fear that which they don't understand. And that's why people probably crucified Jesus or whatever, right? Is because they didn't understand, like, because they thought that he was some type of witch or wizard or some type of fucking alien or whatever, because he knew or could tap too much high level information, right? So they crucified him. They're just like, nah, we want people to be afraid. Because if people know that they can tap the divinity themselves, then we can't keep them in fear, which means we can't keep them working for us and paying taxes and beholden to us. We can't keep manipulating and controlling. If they understand their divinity within. And that's the reality, and that's why you're seeing so much more of this ancient energy that's coming back, right? And this may be why, like, certain people, you know, like they're telling me, certain people that may or may not be, that they're saying may or may not be on the spectrum, I don't know if they're necessarily on the spectrum, or if they're actually just different hybrid genomes that are just more attuned to certain things. That's kind of like what they're showing me. Now there is or was like a great increase of people that were having all of these things, and they were being poisoned and all this other stuff, right? Which is what was creating a lot of autism and cancers and all this other stuff, right? Because all of it is within, right? So what you're intaking, you are what you eat, okay? So if you're eating the dollar meal, then you're gonna be the fucking dollar meal, you know what I'm like that's why it's like, I'll save money buying food or whatever, making my food, but I like to make my food not because it's less money, but because I like to put the intention and love into creating that food, because I know it's nourishing me. So what is our intention, literally, you guys, behind everything that we're doing, everything that we eat, everything that we do? What is our intention? Yeah, choices, okay? Certain things are non-optional choices, okay? 6, and this again, the karmatic balance, right? This is the giving and receiving. She doesn't look too fucking happy, okay? So many people, I may not be happy if they have been taking more than they have been giving. They may start to feel sick, feeling blocked or restrained, okay? Many people may be blocked from their choices. This was upside down. So they may have made choices that have maybe put them in states of literally being upside down. Okay? They may be sick. They may be, for some, they could be have a really intense illness. They could be dying. For some of you, this could be a thing. Now, again, if they were putting out this death magic and all this other shit, and now it's coming back to them, like, choices, okay? Choices. This is about the reciprocity. 6 is the number about reciprocity, okay? So, you know, don't make bad choices, okay? What that's also saying by being upside down like that is that, keeping up is not what you need, okay? Keeping up, like, don't keep up with other people. No, your individual mission is different than everybody else's individual mission. Know what your fucking individual purpose or mission is. You don't know? You don't know? Schedule me. Tell me you want me to help pull your chart so you can pull up some things so we can look into what your North Node is, what certain things are, what your life path number is, blah, 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 blah. Right? Is that something you guys are interested in? Let me know. Like, I'm here, a wealth of knowledge, but I'm not going to be putting it out because I have shitheads fucking throwing tomatoes. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, you want the knowledge, you got to fucking ask me for it. I'm happy to figure out how we can create ways to share the wealth, to expand, okay? To create what they actually did. What they actually did was inspire me to create a course called, like, Healing from Organized Religion and Growing into Spirituality. Right? Because I think that there's a lot of people that are, like, really damaged from organized religions, and some of them were really culty, you know? That was a thing. That was coming from the back because they were, like, afraid of Jesus and the second coming and the time and all that, because they like to keep people in fucking fear. It's a choice. You can choose, you know? But that's what I'm saying, like, don't be scared, don't be scared. So let's pull some tarot that goes on top of these and see what we can see. But that's why it's important, right? Just to be honest and authentic. And that's why I come on here, just so you guys know. I come on here and I'm happy to tell you, like, I don't give a, like, I'll put it out there. I don't care. What, are you gonna judge me? Bro, like, I'm sitting with the divine. I'm the divine's foot soldier right here. Live and direct. Coming in hot. So, like, I don't care. I'm doing what I'm told to do, what I'm asked to do, right? It's a choice, free will. Free will. Many of you guys could have already gotten assignments that you didn't do. So, what's the assignment? You know that joke where they're just like, they understood the assignment. Booyakasha. I understand the assignment. I know what my divine path is. I understand my assignment, so it makes it really easy for me to have the spiritual connectivity and protection, because I know my assignment. So what's your assignment? Tap into that, maybe. Okay, they want me to use the Thoth deck. Power. So there might have been a power struggle before, and that is coming to an end. These could have been people that were trying to cause an interference. They were trying to bring down a high priestess energy, not realizing that the high priestess said, okay, I came here to change the world. Actually, I'm now embodying the emperor energy. Masculine doesn't want to show up in the strong divine masculine energy. Then what changes is now feminine goes within, hermit, okay, goes within, finds everything within herself, 10 of Cups, and comes out embodying emperor energy. And how is that? Because when feminine is required to be in this emperor energy, in this masculine energy, right, when she's required to have to be this, you know, she can't consistently be both. But when she has to, right, she can still be in the seer space, but she's not going to be in this compassionate mother space. She's going to be in the ruler space. Because masculine didn't do the work and didn't fucking show up and didn't step into the emperor position. So now feminine is saying, all right, I can see everything and run it. If you need, no problem. Let me go within. And once I'm fucking happy and you can't touch that happiness that I found the light within, the power struggle and the interference is fucking over. Done. Indolence. Okay? Indolence. Your fortunes is up. You're gonna have to pay up. Pay up, motherfucker. We ain't making truce. We're not. This isn't something that needs to be healed. This isn't something that it needs to be discussed. There is no negotiation. Okay. This is about the new wish fulfillment. This is about the hope and the dream. This is about where this new earth is moving to. Look at this is about the science of things. Okay. This is about the science of the feminine. The moon energy, this is a star, but the moon that's here is about illuminating. It's about bringing what is in the physical into the scientifical, into the hopes and the dreams, this ethereal, okay? These are different, like 3 stages type thing, right? It's about bringing this hope or this wish, this gain into the physical reality. It's about moving from this old state of thinking, right? Look at this. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. It's about moving out of this failure, this thinking that just because we put in a lot of work, we're gonna lose. You know, we're gonna lose something that we put a lot of work into. Instead of understanding that all of the work and the energy and effort that we put in was all to put into ourselves, not this other thing, not this other thing. Okay, it's not outside, and that's what this shows. Is when you plant your seeds and you put your stuff everywhere else, it ends in failure. When you prioritize others' needs before your own, it ends in failure. So this is upside down. So what's not happening is we're not putting out time and effort and energy to people that disappoint us. And when people have shown you that they're constantly disappointing you, when they've shown you time after time after time after time after time, okay, this is the energy of 5. You got to change. You got to say, you know what? You're like, I don't even want to hear an excuse. I just want to let you know you're a disappointment. So how about you stop over promising and under delivering? You know what I'm saying? How about you just don't? Just don't. Okay? That would give me the most pleasure, is if you don't. For some, this can be somebody from the past. This can be somebody you may have known or broke up with a family member, a past ex, something like this. And you're like, no. For some of you guys, you're like, no. You spread everything everywhere else, and then you try to come back here because now you're sad and alone and disappointed, trying to offer this pleasure and like, oh, well, we had all of it. Like, no. That's why it's upside down. As a rejection, followed by the Princess of Cups, upside down. With the 8 upside down. So this is swiftness, okay? So they didn't reach out. They didn't make the message. They didn't make the call. They didn't make the effort, okay? They didn't make this offering. They're not. So now it might not be accepted, okay? They might show up as this fool trying to make this offer or trying to make peace or something like this, okay? Trying to take this leap of faith to make peace, to make truths, to say, hey, let's come upon this agreement, da 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 da. For some of you, you're going to say, that's great, but I choose not to work with anybody that's going to manipulate or be in a space of dominance, okay? I choose not to work with anybody that has shown me before that they're taking away my wealth and my fortune, okay? Someone who tried to do this and that, and someone who is taking action and working and still friends with other people that are taking the wealth and the action and that are trying to control or manipulate this devil chaotic energy. Like, no. The Aeon. No. They're done. They're done. There's nothing that they have to offer, okay? They learn their lesson. The Hierophant. Collective learn their lesson, okay? They realize that that's a dead well. There's nothing left for them to receive. So this is what happens sometimes, you guys. When we realize, when we learn the lesson and when we take the lesson, right? When we become the observer, right? When I see, then I return what does not belong to me. So what happens is many times as empaths, when we start to help people or heal people or work with different people, what happens is these people that are bitches that don't want to do their shadow work, they come to you and they're like, oh my God, they love you, and they tell you everything because they're unloading their bullshit on you because you're an energy conductor and transmuter. Fuck those people. Do your goddamn shadow work. Okay? I want to put a course up. I want to teach a course called shadow dancing, teaching people how to work, how to find, identify their shadows, and how to work through them, get them sewn back to you. You know, like a Peter Pan, you know, when they finally catches his shadow and he sews it back on, like that. You have to figure out how to, and that's kind of like a good way to perceive it, right? It's a bit of a rascal. It's a bit of a lost boy, right? And for people that are still operating in this space of God can save you and blah blah, you're gonna be damned and the devil and la la la. They're still operating in the space of fear, which means they haven't actually found or connected to that inner passion, that inner flame. They have not actually touched that with God. Do you know they haven't had that with God? They haven't reached that within themselves. Why? Because God would never promote fear. God doesn't promote fear. God doesn't promote destruction. That has to fall down. The tower energy. That's an old way of thinking. That's an old train of thought. That's an old way. It doesn't last anymore here. It's non-sustainable. Yeah, the Queen of Cups is like, no, we saw that. We can't work with that. I can't go for that. No can do. No, they're about people that are ready to put in the emotional stability, the emotional work, okay? And people that are over here like, well, I got all this money and I did all this work. No, that's fake, okay? Because prudence being upside down means somebody didn't do something. Somebody didn't do the work, and that's the Queen of Cups. She saw it. She's offended by it. Like I said, the Scorpio is like the cosmic judge, right? They are a fixed sign. They're fixed sign energy. Fixed signs maintain. That's why they're the guardians of the galaxy, right? The guardians of the universe. That's why they maintain, they block, they stand in front, whatever, because they hold on to, like the Justice League, you know, they maintain those levels. That's what they do. That is their job. So when things come back around and it's time for them to switch, we're basically like in a review. You know, we're like in a quarterly cosmic review. And we're making budget cuts. We're like, you know what? Nah, what? We're funding how much? To killing baby? We're funding how much? To prostitution? We're funding how much? To sex trafficking, belittlement of what? Divine what? We're doing what? They're like, no. How about no? They're not having it. Yeah. The Knight of Swords. They are taking big action towards it, okay? And you're going to start to see, look at that. How about that? The list came out even. The Epstein list came out, okay? And you know why people didn't want to come out? Because all those people on there didn't want you to know that they were fucking bad people. That they were fucking little kids. That's disgusting, bro. And for some of them, that is their passion, and that's not work. That's how they made their money. And guess what? Nobody, not a single fucking soul, doesn't matter how much money you have in the physical, doesn't matter who you are in the physical. That doesn't matter. This is a spiritual matter. This is an energetic matter. This is a matter of the soul. And what's going to happen is everybody will be held accountable. Everybody. And that's why that's why they made me take down the eye. Right back at all of the wrongs. And may I just offer you a slight suggestion, okay? The Lord, no, there is no Lord. Lord, the word Lord is to lord over, okay? In the Bible. And the original version of the Bible, nowhere did God ever refer to themselves as the Lord. Just so you guys know. There is no Lord and Savior. Like, that's man. That's a manipulation of words. Spells are words. That's why it's called spelling. Okay? So, watch what you write. Watch what you speak. The Lord, that only way that Lord was ever referred to in the Bible, and I've studied that shit probably more than anybody that comes on here trying to fucking talk some Jesus shit. So, suck a dick, first of all. Second of all, make it count. Third of all, nowhere in the Bible was divine ever referred to or talked about as Lord. The only way that Lord and where it comes from and when it was used is to refer to an owner of land, property, or slaves. Someone that is lording over people, property that they own. So to pray to a Lord means I pray to a system that fucking owns my soul. Might want to check yourself. Might want to go pray to the ocean. Okay? Might want to pray to Source Creator, to the divine. Might want to go pray to the mother, to the goddess, to the all that is, to anything but a man. Because that's a huge sin. That's a huge sin in the Bible. For any of you guys that are wondering, that's a huge sin in the Bible. Okay? To worship men or false idols. Jesus was a man. So to idolize him is to create a false idol. Guys, wake the fuck up. Watch what you put out. Okay? Because that shit will fucking right back. And if you are receiving pleasure, but you're hurting somebody else in the process, that shit's going to come back to you. That's not okay. That's not how it works. I'm not hurting anybody because nobody saw it. Were any of these people, was that spiritual leader? Did anybody think that he was hurting anybody? No, they thought he was healing fucking billions of people, helping billions of people. But now when you see that they're molesting little children, do you still feel like he's a soul here doing God's work? You think he's divine? No. Absolutely not, because divinity, okay, God, source, creator, okay, would not give somebody that much spiritual power or forward saying that was doing those kinds of things. That wouldn't happen unless it's being manipulated or controlled. So wake up, guys. Okay, I need you guys to be a little more woke. And if you don't understand, so I just want to be real, okay, with anybody that comes here on my channel like this, like I am here for whoever it's meant for. First of all, number one. Number two, okay, if you want to insult people, this isn't the place. Number three, if you would like to ask a question, there's no stupid questions unless your question is fucking stupid. Like, oh, what does your foot or your pussy smell like? Like, okay, bro, grow up. Get the fuck out. Okay? Don't defile or dishonor the goddess or people. I'm more Christ-like than any of you guys. I'm out here giving knowledge freely to the people without expecting anything in return. Out of the kindness of my heart to help people, to guide them back to the light. Bro, where are all the preachers? You ain't seen no preachers online because they know. Because God is mad that they've been preaching the wrong ass shit. Gonna start to see if you didn't already. So any more messages for the collective? Worry. It's a choice, okay? For many, they are going to be abandoning. You're going to start to see, you may start to unfollow certain people. You may stop to talk to certain people, relatives, family members, lovers, friends, maybe work associates, different people, okay? This is a state. When you start to feel an uncomfortability when being around somebody, with communicating, with working, with doing whatever, when you're feeling that worry within inside, that is your internal compass, your intuition, okay? That's telling you something is wrong, something needs to change. Even anger tells us something is wrong here, something is out of place, something needs to change, something needs to be complete, something needs to heal. So that means something needs to go away. What needs to go away? Oh, no shit, the debauchery. I literally couldn't make this up. Oh, wait. I'm a seer. But it sounds like you're just making shit up. Maybe I am. Who knows? But I'm just channeling, just a messenger. Debauchery, the Seven of Cups. So this is about constantly having so many options. It's about not choosing devotion. Commitment. Commit to. Are you a good person? Are you an honest or loyal partner? Are you an honest worker? Are you? And if you are not in these certain things, then move out of those relationships or fields or industries or whatever that make you not be your pure form of authenticity. And if your pure form of authenticity is a fucking debaucherous whatever, then like fucking go find your low lives and post up there. But no, that's the loop you chose, okay? You are what you eat. You are what you entertain. What you eat, your diet is not strictly coming to what you're eating or drinking. Your diet is anything you're intaking. You spend all day, all night. If you spend every week hanging out with fucking hookers on the corner, like, you're a fucking hoe. If you spend a bunch of time learning, you're a nerd. You're a researcher. You know what I'm saying? If you're healing people, you're a healer. If you're always making art, you're an artist. What the fuck are you doing? Ask yourself. And change. Change. Changes. Yeah, because you're the only person holding yourself back. So many people are holding something back. Many people are literally blocking their own abundance, okay? Many people are blocking their own love from coming in because maybe they're in this state that they need more money or more value or more luxury or more whatever, like, because maybe they feel like there's a way that they have to be impressive to others, right? For some, okay, hold on. You guys, really? Do we always have to go through this? Okay. Again, why is this energy in the collective? Okay. This person is now realizing, even if they have nothing to offer you, that you're the only thing out there. So that's why. Somebody did this. Somebody tried to off the Empress, okay? What did they do? They were trying to sneakily do it, okay? 10 of Wands, okay? They were trying to keep her oppressed. They were trying to keep her trapped. They were trying to steal intellectual property, take things from her, keep things so she wouldn't know, okay? Literally. The Empress in reverse is like killing somebody's idea, vision, somebody physically, somebody's dreams, somebody's goals, but I would say somebody's business and somebody's life, because here is hiding, sneaking oppression in reverse, okay? Success in reverse, okay? So this is somebody's wish fulfillment, somebody's dreams, okay? Somebody is doing, so you guys, I keep picking up on this. Certain people are doing, have been doing moon magic or graveyard magic or something like this. And these people are starting to get like flesh-eating diseases, okay? Some weird shit. Because the moon, even though it's secrets and deception, even though there's hidden truths, the moon, when it gets full, it will bring everything to light. So this could mean something to you guys by the time the full moon comes in. Everything will be sorted, maybe. Everything will be sorted maybe before then, okay? This is about... also, this can be somebody that was promised, okay? Somebody that was promised this deceptive thing, if they help to block collectives, ships from coming in, if they helped to block their success, if they stole something from them, if they oppressed or kept them stuck somewhere, kept them in this state somewhere, that they would ultimately get this payout. And so they did it. For some of you, a friend or a family member, they could have been working against you. Definitely somebody that you thought was a friend or a family member that you worked with that's not. Okay, this could have been a lover, or this could have been somebody they worked with that was a lover or a hoe, something like this. Yeah, again, look at the universe in reverse. They're jealous. Somebody is really jealous. Somebody wanted somebody to be in love, and they're not. They're not happy with them. And where they maybe were obsessed or fucking or feeling the pleasure or whatever, they may be running to them, or they may have created some type of spell, so they kept running to them or wanted to go to them, and that came to an end. Death in reverse. Okay? What they did is, they realized, what I'm picking up here is they realized that they couldn't match collective, and so they try to take collective out. They tried to kill them. Ruin. They're trying to ruin them, okay? For some of them, they may have, when feminine or masculine decided to walk away from something, when they were like, no, I'm in love with collective. I'm in love with collective. I don't want to live this type of life of debauchery. I want to go with collective, right? You ruined everything. This has ruined everything, literally, right? I want to go back. I want to go back to this. I want to go back to her. She dreams. She has vision. She knows how to heal and move forward. She understands the science of things. And when they said this, when they told this karmic third party, they were not happy, okay? And they were not getting that loving anymore. They were not getting that attention. For many of them, they may have tried to do many things, but they weren't able to get the, like, what they just keep showing. Yeah, hangman in reverse. Basically, like, they couldn't get it up. It didn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter, like, how much love they pour. It's fucking fake. It's like they're literally making fools out of themselves, because they're so obsessed. They're like, oh my God, but why? You don't love me. And they're trying so hard. They're like, maybe like trying to get it hard, and it's not happening. It's just failure, 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 failure. And for some of you guys, the collective, whether this is masculine or feminine, could have said, you know what? I see you for what you are, which is evil, which is a devil, which is somebody that's working or sucking off of other people's failures, other people's sadness, other people's pain, other people's pleasure. And you're using that. You're using bad spells to take that life force energy to make other people fail so you can succeed. Because these monitoring spirits, these demonic spirits, okay, they get fulfillment off of your sadness, off of your failure, off of your doubt in yourself. Every time they put some idea into your brain that says, you're not lovable, somebody doesn't love you, you're dumb, whatever you're doing is dumb. Every time they do that, they put it in, and they're using that. They're using that in this dark fucking demonic energy, okay? And for some of you guys, collective may have saw that. They caught you. They caught you at your shit. Yeah. And the fight is over. Okay. Now there's not going to be any more strife. Many people may have gotten caught. Okay. Yeah, indolence, 8 of Cups, walking away. You know, it's like, and this is what I told you guys yesterday. This is what Hecate was saying. You've been at a crossroads. For many of you guys, you may have been warned. Okay. I know for many people I know that I stopped hanging out with and stuff like this, I warned them. I warned them for the last year or two. Like, hey guys, blah, blah. Like, nobody fucking listens. Nobody listens. They want to sit over here saying, oh, she's fucking crazy. Guess what? Look who's laughing now. Look who was defeated now. Look who's dominated now. Look whose fucking passionate dick got them into trouble. They're out of truth. They're out of time. And now it's going to cost them a lot of fucking money. And some apologies. Now what they're realizing is collective, when they said, choose a side, pick my side or pick somebody else's, but don't sit there and pick your nose. Make a choice. And when they didn't do it, that was their choice, okay? Sometimes no response is a response. Sometimes inaction is the action. That is the completion. But what's going on is they're not healing. They didn't heal, so they didn't completely complete it. So they chose debauchery. So now they're getting this abandonment. They're getting this worry. They tried to put that on the Empress. They tried to hide and sneak and do that, but guess what? They can't do that. She's the Empress who has now learned to develop both energies without needing the dick. And now she's at 9 of Cups. She's at that state of happiness. Look at that. Happiness. Contentment. She don't have to go anywhere. Don't have to go anywhere. She can slay all those demons dead. She can die and rebirth herself as many times as she wants. Okay? Also, this is just for collective. But this is Empress energy. So, they may have learned how to tap into this energy of I love myself. I'm happy with myself. Anything that doesn't love me back is gonna have to fucking get the fuck out. It ain't coming towards me. That's for sure. I don't give a fuck how much it's obsessed. If it was a disappointment, it was a bye. Later, that's the change, okay? That's how we make space for the actual lover to come in. Sometimes the lover that we come into a partnership with is ourself, right? Sometimes it's just discovering this self-love, and that's what I was telling you guys before, is when I was channeling this earlier, it was showing that the Empress became the Emperor, right? They tried to make it look like the High Priestess. They tried to discredit the High Priestess. They tried to turn her upside down. They tried to, maybe people were saying a bunch of shit, talking a bunch of shit, trying to discredit. And what happened? She said, okay, thank you for all of that discrediting energy, because all it's doing is giving me energy, and I'm going to take all that hating energy and I'm going to fucking use it to build an empire. And now she's the Emperor, which means she's not waiting. She's not waiting for a knight to come in to become her king, or a king to come in to help rule. No, she stepped into the Emperor energy. And again, there is no gender here. This is the energy of the divine feminine rising that is like, you know what? Get yourself a girl that can do both. Try to take something away? Try to take something away from a goddess? Just take your own ass the fuck on. Keep walking. The indolence. Get the fuck out. Come back when you learned your lesson. Later. You're not committed. You don't have the passion it takes. You don't have the drive that it takes to make the decision or the commitment. Yeah, look at this. The indolence, which is a card of walking away, okay? Upside down. The Hierophant, which is card of commitment and higher learning, upside down. Princess of Dis, okay? Figuring out what you're like, figuring out how to move towards in the physical what you think is your own idea of stability. And then we have the Six of Swords in reverse, which is the guy that takes you to the safer shores. So whatever you decided, or whoever, young little princess, you decided in the physical was more whatever, you didn't walk away from, okay? Somebody didn't walk away. And that's what's causing their problem, because they can't evolve. They can't go to the next place. They're stuck here in this physical, in this hell, okay? Heal, hell, physical, 3D, earth plane. I'm not trying to be there. I'm going here. Happiness. I ain't gonna worry. Don't worry. Ha, ha. Be happy. Look at that. The worry is upside down and the happy is right side up. Here's a little song I wrote. Might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. 'Cause when you worry, your face will frown, and that's gonna bring everybody down. Something like that. I can't remember all the words. It was like one of the first songs I ever learned as a small child. So, don't worry. Be happy. Ooh, 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 ooh. Defend your happiness, not your pleasure. Okay? Defend your happiness. Okay? Find what you have valor in, right? Like what can you stand behind that you can say, yes, I support that. Yes. That is quality, right? That is an opportunity we don't want to miss. Look at luxury. That would be something worth having, something worth doing, something worth seeing. Okay? That's the energy where we need to be in, you guys. Not like, oh, I can do this because it makes me feel good, but it hurts somebody else's feelings. No, the devil in reverse. No, not going to happen. The devil, you have to decide where your shadows are. Like, for instance, I understand, like, of course I like to party, of course. Bro, I worked in festival and music circuit for like, I don't know, like 18 or 20 years, of course. Does that mean I will never do it, that I'm like a fucking nun? No, bro. No. Let me just be real about that. It means that I choose the right people, places, times, circumstances, and containers to exchange those levels of energetic frequencies going in and out of different dimensions. You know what I'm saying? Strength, the 9. I need people that can handle their shit. I need people to know how to handle some shit. She was a day tripper. Yeah, no oppression for me. One-way ticket, yeah. It took me so long to find out, but I found out. So I would say that the majority of my story was, I'd never been in any type of weird facilities or hospitals or rehabilitation or mental facilities. They definitely did try to take me, I think maybe like 2 or 3 times, maybe more, I don't know. I probably just blocked it out, to like admit me to mental facilities. But then as soon as I would sit down with the doctor, they would like pay. They would pay for my taxi to wherever I wanted to go and my food. How about that? They're like, oh, you're clear. You don't belong in here. Have a nice day. Like, that's what happens. You can be like, no. So, this is a skill I've had for a very long time. The reason why I think that many people don't really realize that it's something that I tapped into is because people themselves fear what they don't know, which is higher knowledge, which is higher wisdom, which is occult, right? Which is things above their comprehension, which is things out of their basic 3rd density into higher levels of understanding, into ethers, right? Like, Where are you trying to go, right? Like, shout out to MAPS, the Municipal Association of Psychedelic Studies, bro. There's reasons why there was many doctors and scientists and people that went before us to figure out how we work with the brain and the psychology and how we heal and how we get to this state, okay? And it's not through just altered states. It's understanding that there's certain things that are medicines and how to use them as medicines to heal and to expand and to learn and to tap into information, right? And that's what's going to be changing in the world, right? This is what's been hidden. And this is where the feminine energy is coming back in. It's not about just femininity, right? It's about when the patriarchy comes down, the need to have the medications and this and that, instead of the actual knowledge that's coming from the ancients, that's coming from the plants, that's coming from the earth, that's here for us to tap into instead of all these other ways. That's what's coming. When we say the feminine is coming, the less punitive, less wars, more community, more growing food, more teaching and learning, less overproduction, less monopoly, you know? Like, that's this new level of learning, is getting back to basics, is this old way of doing something, you know? And just to send out love, like, you know you ain't doing it right unless you got haters, but like, I send out love, you know, I send out love to my haters, and I say, bro, like, I hope you get your 10 of cups too. I want everybody to win. I hope you get your 10 of cups too. But you know, like, I started out on a mission. I learned how to become a captain, right? After I left so let me just break it down. I'll tell you guys a story while we're here on story time. I left a crazy abusive relationship, which I thought was one of the first healthy relationships, because it was the first time that I stopped having medical problems because my family was causing internal intermittent bleeding within me. That's how much they were stressing me out. That's how sensitive I am to anxiety and stress. So when I was with this person, even though they were very abusive and it was a really manipulative situation, like, they had showed me a different type of love, but it was, again, this very crazy psychopathy type of narcissism. And so eventually I ended up, one of my best friends, okay, ended up helping me leave that space, because it was fucking me up. But I really believed that this person was making me better, because it was the first time I didn't get sick in a long time. He was like, did you ever think it was maybe like your mother that was doing it, you know, like your family is making you sick? And I'm just like, what? And so then as I spent the time away from them, I was like, oh my God, he's right. But then I realized, like, it was like this fucking psychopathy, and that's what narcissists like to do. They like to remove you from any other people that they can have. That way they're in complete control. So eventually I left everything and went up to the Bay, and I went up there with like nothing. And then like a year later, I had this idea, this dream, this vision of creating this performing arts and event center where we could all come together, this home space. So if you guys check out my Give, Sin, Go It All, the Wild Heart Space, it's me showing you the space, but it's me talking about home space and how it started, which is the idea of creating this space where people could come together in a space where they could learn and grow. So it's about not just one type of art, it's about all the different types of arts. So for some people, this is the occult arts. For other people, it's the fashion arts, right? It's like this. For other people, it can be music, it can be anything. But the idea is when somebody is creating, it creates like this energetic source. And so I noticed when we started co-creating, even if we are in different rooms doing things, the way that it was bringing more and more, and the way it was generating more energy and all of this stuff was just crazy, right? And so I was like, this is awesome, we got to do this. And so I manifested this space. It still exists there. I hand painted a labyrinth on the floor, and that's why I want to create a labyrinth here, right? Because it's creating energy. And like, the idea is basically like, we generated this and we brought it, we created it as a community art project where everybody was donating. Now, it wasn't just a complete community art project. I sold my car and all my worldly possessions to build that space. And then my business partner basically fucked me out of it, paid all of her credit cards and took the money instead of putting it in the business name. And at that point, I just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm out. And every time I've ever had a situation like this, I've always been the bigger person and just left. And that's why in this situation, I'm not doing it. I see what I see. I see my vision. I see my goal, and I'm not taking, no. You know what I'm saying? So after that Performing Arts and Event Center, I left, and I kept seeing, like, I was always the captain. I had to be the captain. And then my friend and I tried to find a captain one year at Burning Man to do this idea, because I had this beautiful idea. We could have this boat and take it around with all of these amazing people and create these sustainable areas, sustainable little cities that were made out of this recycled art project, that were like in tune with nature, that were giving back. So basically, if you've been to Bali, they've created my vision into a city called Neanu, creative city. Okay, so the way that I manifest, so I was like, okay, I got to become the captain, but in order to do that, I have to learn how to boat. Okay, I need this type of boat. So I was like, okay, I need this. Then I ended up, like, less than a month later, meeting this kid. He had this fucking boat. He needed some help. I did some fucking cards. We did some crazy stuff, and boom, I manifested the exact type of boat, the exact whatever, everything that I needed. And I was like, all right, I'm going to learn how to sail this boat. Back to plan A. I didn't find a captain or somebody that wants to get a boat, so I'm going to have to learn how to do everything in the boat. I'm going to have to learn how to sail and how to work with the boat, how to work with the motors, how to work with all the different things, and da-da-da-da-da. And so that's what I did. And then I learned to sail. I was tacking in the harbor at night around these expensive ass fucking boats in Marina del Rey, California, next to Venice Beach. And I was doing it scared as fuck, because if I hit any of these boats, like, that's millions of dollars. So I learned how to do that. I made friends with all the I did all of these things. I manifested all of these things. Why? To show people that when you have a dream or a vision, if you follow it, and that's what you're actually guided to do, one thing after another will start to unfold. A pathway will start to create itself for you somehow. So, do you think I'm scared in the end of the day when someone's like, bro, I've lost houses, I've lost family, all of my fucking family, siblings, everything I own so many times, multiple boats, Performing Arts and Event Center, like whole eras of my life, bro. I'm good. I would be better if you guys can love and support the project, and it would be even more awesome if there's some creatives out there that are interested in coming through to potentially rent a space and help do a project here. That is what I'm funding for, is the availability to provide a space for artists that want to come and co-create and to share things with the collective, because this is how we learn, right? We learn more, like, we may be good at our one fucking thing, but we learn more when we can come and do it with other people, when we can co-create. And that's really beautiful. I think it's really amazing that they built this whole city, and if you guys ever come out here, like, you have to check it out. But, like, this is my dream, manifest. And so I know when I feel something very strongly, I know. And the more that you can get in tune, right? The more you can understand instead of understand. That's, again, like being lorded over. No, we're all here. Source is love. It's unity. So how do we figure out? And so the end of the story is, everything I've ever done, I put in, I think it's like 800 something hours to become a master captain before they beached my boat. I was maybe 20 or 30 hours away from becoming a 100-ton master fucking captain, having my license, because they hated it. What did I do that for? Did I do that for myself? Did I do that for my own gain? I did that so I could, in case I had to be the captain to have this ship to take it around, because I didn't find anybody else willing to do shit for other people. So again, ask yourself, are you doing something for the good because you're getting a fucking good boy, good girl? Like, are you doing it because you're getting a tax write-off? Are you doing it because you look good? What are you doing it for? Because my whole life, I have had everything fucking taken from me, and I still am out here giving everything I have, including hours of my day and my energy and my time and my knowledge and my channeling, because I know I get back everything I want and more. Because I don't take, I don't cheat, I don't lie, I don't hurt, I don't steal. I don't treat people poorly. And I represent and understand that divinity, goddess, creation itself is something I've gotten to embody in this incarnation. And I will protect that. Imagine if one of your most prominent past life memories was as Mary, who burned Jesus herself. You would have pretty adverse things to people that were strippers and hookers and being belittled of the source divine creation itself, wouldn't you? It might be a pretty fucking sensitive subject, and you might not like people that do that because you work so hard. And the last incarnation that you had as the mother, you were fucking ridiculed for it. So the fact that people are going to use that as a way to make money in this physical, no more. How dare you defile everything that is sacred? If you do that and you're private with your person, right? Whatever, but no. For women to even be traded on a sex market, even be hired to be defiled in any sense, sorry. And if you're a part of that, whoever, people that came on here last night, misogynists and all that, like I said, sorry, sweetie, not sorry. God is a woman. And she does have patience and love and compassion. But she also does have a limit. So go out, pray to your earth, be grateful to Mother Earth, Mother Ocean. And just in case you guys are wondering, Mother Nature, the strongest element. You know what they call that when there's a lightning or a tree or some crazy fucking tornado or a fucking wave? You know what they call that? Acts of God. Mother Nature is an act of God. You don't say. Goddess. Great. Not God is. Goddess. Great. Everything is true as far as it is translated correctly. That's why they like me as their spokesperson, because I do understand how to translate things correctly, because I was taught many incarnations and I have that energy running within my being to tap into. And we're here to let people know where the words weren't translated correctly and they're just a little bit tweaking, so we can get back to the divine feminine way and this loving, nurturing new era. Okay, guys, as always, infinite blessings, love, and light. If you are doing the work, keep going. You got this. Keep pushing. I'm proud of you. And as always, infinite blessings, love, and light. Ciao for now. Love you.